Hey guys, welcome to the video. Salt here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the primary weapon, the Opticor Vandal. Now in this weapon series, I take a weapon, I build it out, and I test that weapon on its own merits, meaning I don't mix it with any kind of external factors that may increase weapon performance. That would be things like Warframes using abilities, pets putting statuses on enemies, things like that. I just test the weapon, built out by itself, and I let the viewer make their own intelligent conclusions about adding those external things. Okay, the Opticor Vandal was suggested by Cold Fries. This was actually one of my very first suggestions that I had like 5 months ago. Poor Cold Fries has been waiting for so long. Cold Fries was one of my original commenters. He used to comment on like every single one of my original videos. I haven't seen him comment in a while, so if you're out there, Cold Fries, if you're still watching, hope you're doing okay, brother. So the reason it took me so long is because the Opticor Vandal is not a upgrade to the regular Opticor. It is a side grade. There are reasons why I like it better than the regular Opticor, but the regular Opticor does a lot more base damage. Everything else about the Vandal version is better. The Vandal has better crit, status, everything. But the base damage is a lot better on the Opticor, and not like a couple of points better, like hundreds of points better. But it's also very slow. So for that reason, the Opticor Vandal and the Opticor are almost like two completely different weapons. Besides having the same name, one is more of a long-charged sniper, and the other one is more of like a laser battle rifle, I guess you could think of it. So if you guys are interested, let me know if you want me to do a regular Opticor video as well. So, okay. So yeah, we got that. We got our top commenter from the last video, Kirito AOT. And our first commenter from the last video is Nostrapapas. And let's get into the Opticor Vandal here. So, cool little weapon. You can get this either in Tennokan or in, I shouldn't say in Tennokan. It's in Barrow. So it's in the Barrow inventory. But when Tennokan rolls around, they have all of the things that Barrow's ever had, and this was in the Barrow inventory, so it has to show up at Tennokan. I actually reminded them. I sent them a message like, I think 2 or 3 Tennokans ago, because they forgot this one and the Vastolock, and I sent them a message, and they were like, oh, thank you. And they like added it in like 5 minutes later after Tennokan dropped. Just because I hated doing fissures, so I didn't want to have to do the Thermia fissures to get this thing. So I actually got mine through Barrow. But yeah, if you don't want to do that, you can just get it through Thermia fissures, although those are very painful to do. So, okay. I'll get into the build here, and we'll get into the interesting things. Now, I have some mods that are empty, and it's because I did a crap load of testing, and I'll show you my testing that I did. But let's talk about the interesting things about the Opticor Vandal first. It has above average crit multiplier, so you get a little bit more crit damage out of things that give you % crit damage than you would other weapons. The radial attack, so this is a laser, and when it hits a target, it's going to explode. I also did testing because sometimes explosive weapons work weirdly. Sometimes they explode after they've punched through, and they like explode on the last thing hit. And sometimes they explode on the first thing hit. This explodes on the first thing hit. So this has a 1 meter innate punch through. We're going to increase that out by using Prime Shred, but you don't need to use Prime Shred. This does have a 1 meter innate punch through. And it will explode on the first target hit, which is actually the better way you want, because you don't want to shoot a single target and the bullet goes through him and it like explodes on the floor like 3 meters behind him. So, okay. And then the radial attack, when it does explode, so, laser hits something, it does direct damage, but it's also going to explode, and it's going to produce a magnetic status effect, or it has a chance to produce a magnetic status effect, I should say. Which is pretty cool. So you get magnetic for free on the radial attack there. And the radial is quite large. I think it's 4.6. There it is, 4.6 meter range. So that's why we're going to be using a Exilis mod called Cautious Shot, which helps you not get staggered. Now, of course, if you're using a Warframe that has stagger immunity, like I'm going to be using a Naros for the video, so I could technically not use Cautious Shot, but I'm just showing this as a general build for just people to use. And so most people probably should be using Cautious Shot, unless you have a Warframe that doesn't get staggered. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for all the little cool things here. And we can get into the actual build. So let's go over the basics first, the mods that you're always going to have on here. So Galvanized Chamber for multi-shot. Galvanized Scope for crit chance. A Fire Rate mod. Now, I have Prime Shred. Prime Shred is Fire Rate and Punch Through. That's why I like it, because you kind of get two really good things with it. Now, you don't technically need this because the weapon already has an 8 punch through. And also, it's a login reward, so a lot of people aren't going to have Prime Shred. And regular Shred kind of sucks. Don't use regular Shred. You either use Prime Shred or you use Vile Acceleration. Let me show you Vile Acceleration here. Okay. Vile Acceleration is a 90% fire rate increase. So you actually get more fire rate than you do with Prime Shred. But you don't get the punch through with it. So, you know, it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off there. That's why they're kind of side grades to each other. I really like the punch through of Prime Shred. I think 1 and 8 punch through is okay, but I wouldn't mind boosting it up a bit. So I give it Prime Shred there. But again, it's a login reward. A lot of people probably won't have it. And in that case, just plop on Vile Acceleration and you'll be super happy. Okay, enough about the Fire Rate mod. Now we have the 2 basic crit mods, which is going to be Critical Delay and Vital Sense. So crit chance, crit damage. Okay? Now, like I was saying, this weapon has above average crit damage multipliers. And so you get a little bit more out of crit damage mods. And there's another mod that has 120% crit damage that you can just stack on top of, your 120 you have here. And that's going to be Bladed Rounds. Bladed Rounds. On kill, you get 120% crit damage when aiming for 9 seconds. You're always going to be aiming with this weapon. So you could just look at this as a 120% crit damage increase. So this is very powerful on the Opticor. Now, sometimes we can fit this, and sometimes we can't. And so I did a lot of testing here. Because in our faction status guide, we came to the conclusion that weapons that have pretty good alpha damage can do well with Gas Electric or Blast over the regular meta of Viral Slash. So I wanted to test everything, okay? So I'm going to throw up a spreadsheet. If you see something that says BR, that means Bladed Rounds. That's this right here with crit damage. And if you see something that says HM, that's going to be Hunter Munitions. This is the one that's going to apply slashes on criticals. Okay, so let's throw up the slide there. Here we go. All right, so I did some testing this morning with the Opticor Vandal. These are kill counts for 5-minute runs. So I did 5-minute runs on Kuva Survival. The reason I chose Kuva Survival is because they have a vulnerability to corrosive, which we're not testing, so that doesn't affect anything. And they have a resistance to heat, which we're not testing, so that doesn't affect anything. I didn't want to test it against Corrupted because Corrupted are weak against Viral, and Viral is one of the things we're testing. So, yeah. Okay, so and I always chose a tile set that had at least 2 points of entry and sometimes 3. So 2 to 3 points of entry, and I would just hold that tile set down and I would shoot down those 2 or 3 points of entry. Okay, so Viral and Hunter Munitions. So again, we have 3 slots that are empty. So Viral would take the 2 element slots on the bottom, and then Hunter Munitions would be on the one on top. 350 kills, 408 kills, and 380 kills for a total in 3 runs of 1,138 kills. We tested Blast and BR, which is Bladed Rounds next. Again, Blast is 2 elements, so that takes up the 2 element slots on the bottom, and then we use Bladed Rounds on the top. And it was 310, 441, and 455 for a total in 3 runs of 1,206. Now, I did an extra test on Blast because if you notice, we have a crazy outlier. We have an outlier that's like 150 kills less than the others. So my first run with Blast, for some reason, I got 310 kills. And that is because AoE heavy builds, like as you see here, we have Blast, we have Gas Electric next, then we have Gas. These are all AoE builds, except for the Viral and Hunter Munitions. AoE builds are a little bit at the mercy of spawns, the map, the tile set. They're not going to be as consistent as Viral Hunter Munitions. Now, Viral Hunter Munitions is going to be weaker than them, but it's going to remain consistent. So I think that's why we got such a bad Blast run for the very first run, is just because I had a bad tile set. Maybe enemies weren't grouped up as much as they were on the other runs. So I added an extra run just to see if maybe I was just unlucky, or maybe I got lucky on the other two runs. And the extra run I did was 442, which would be consistent with the last two runs I got initially. So if you were to throw away the 310 and keep the other runs, it would be 1,338 kills in those three runs. But I mean, it is possible to get unlucky, though. So, I mean, the 310 is still a valid number. You can still get unlucky with AoE builds. So, okay. The next thing we tested, and again, this is an AoE heavy build, is going to be Gas Electric. So, remember, we have 3 slots empty. So, we use 2 of the slots to make gas and the last slot to make electric. We got 517, 418, and 404 kills for a total in 3 runs of 1,339 kills. And then lastly, we tested gas by itself, so not gas electric, so gas by itself, and I just added bladed rounds. Because I was like, well, gas is really powerful, and it has a high crit damage. Maybe I can just, like, not use electric and see how bladed rounds does with gas. And it did worse. It did a lot worse. So it got 401, 362, and 402 kills. So in 3 runs, 1,165 kills. So your choices are probably going to be Gas Electric or Blast bladed rounds for your most powerful situational choices. The most consistent choice is going to be Viral Hunter Munitions. So if you don't like the kind of RNG, like, do I get a good tile set? Do I not get a good tile set? Oh, this, enemies are super spread out, and so now my Blast or Gas Electric is not doing as well. Then you would go with Viral Hunter Munitions. But if you're confident, like, in your choice of picking tile sets and your movement and, like, the way you set up, enemies and stuff, then Blast or Gas Electric would be your best options. All right, let me stop running my mouth here. I think for the video, I'm going to show Blast bladed rounds, but Gas Electric is still really good. And again, Viral Hunter Munitions is fine. So, all right, let me move back here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put on Blast. So I'm going to type in Blast. And you're going to want to use both 60/60s. Do not use the big cryo rounds here. I know it's tempting. It's a big old 165. But you need status chance to actually get blast procs on things. The whole reason you're going blast is to put blast procs on things. So 30% is not good enough. You need to have a bigger percentage to actually get those blast procs on. So that's why you go with the 60/60s here. And then we're going to plot bladed rounds in that top area there. Bladed rounds. Shaboom. There we go. Keep in mind that the Viral Hunter Munitions is super good too, though. Like, I'm kind of tempted to go back to just the basic meta with the Viral Hunter Munitions, but Blast will poop on it in the right situations if you pick the right tile sets. Okay, Cautious Shot we already talked about. Reduces your stagger. And then in the Arcane slot, we're going to have Primary Deadhead. Primary Deadhead is going to give us 360% flat damage. It's going to give us a little bit more headshot multiplier, and it's going to give us negative weapon recoil. I don't think this weapon has a recoil. I did so much testing this morning. I should know that. If it does, you're not really affected by it because it shoots so slowly that, like, it's already on target by the time you go to shoot again. So yeah, Primary Deadhead. I like that. I like it the best. So okay, so we have a Blast build. Yeah, okay. I think that's it here. Now, because I don't mix this with any externals, I'm going to do this on a big, dumb Anaros with no Archon shards that increase weapon performance. No mods or arcanes on the Anaros that increase weapon performance. And with a pet with no sentinel weapon and no mods on the pet that increase weapon performance. That way we can just see the Opticor Vandal by itself, see how it does, and yeah, you can make your own judgment on adding those external things. You could be like, oh, you know, well, he has Blast, but I'm just going to use Nourish. That way I get Blast and Viral. Hey, that's a good option. Okay. Mott. And we'll do 10 minutes here.
Their rage is vehement, their focus impressive.
It's a pretty cool looking weapon, too. I like it. Very, kind of like high-tech anime-ish. I don't know. Do you guys think it's anime-ish? I think it's kind of anime-ish, like Gundam anime-ish. All right. The only ability I'll be pressing is my 3 to give myself armor and status immunity, but that's about it. This is why Blast is very powerful. You kill one dude and everything around him dies. Now, if there was only a single target in front of my face, viral Hunter Munitions all day long, right? Like, viral Hunter Munitions is still going to be your best single target setup. It's just that it won't beat these crazy AoE setups if there's, like, you know, 2 or more dudes. Another thing you could do is you could try to LOS. You can LOS enemies. That's what you should be doing with AoE builds. So I can actually fight right here, and it's going to cause the enemies to run into this doorway. And that way they're tighter together. So, you know, if you're an MMO player, you probably know what LOS means, line of sight. You line of sight the enemies and get them to kind of gather together. You don't have to do that, but it helps your kill numbers. You're gonna be less able to do that in multiplayer. I play a lot of multiplayer, so I don't, you know, always go crazy with the LOSing. Yeah, I think you'd also be happy if you went Gas Electric. Gas Electric you'd be happy with. Blast you'd be happy with. They're both kind of the same, Gas Electric and Blast. They were like damn near the same number. Especially if you were to get rid of that super low run we got on Blast for some reason. The only, out of those 4 tests, the only one I would say is the loser is Gas Bladed Rounds. I don't really see a point in Gas Bladed Rounds after I tested that. If it had done better than Gas Electric, then absolutely, but it did not. So I don't think the Gas Bladed Rounds is an option. I think your options are either Gas Electric, Blast Bladed Rounds, or Viral Hunter Munitions if you just want a more consistent play. We'll try to LOS all the people that were in the room behind us by just kind of sitting back here. We'll get them to come in. There we go. Now they're all dead. It's a really fun weapon. I spent so long trying to figure out what the hell I was going to do. I kept reading forums on the Opticor versus the Opticor Vandal. You know, there's like a group of people that love the regular Opticor. There's a group of people that love the Vandal, and they all fight with each other. They have like gang wars with each other. So, you know, to not get involved in the gang wars of the Opticor Vandal versus Opticor people, I'm going to probably end up just doing both. They're both kind of just different weapons. You know, one's super slow with a lot more upfront damage, and this one is a little bit quicker with less upfront damage, but more DPS. But let me know. Let me know what side of the gang wars you guys are on. Are you on the Opticor side or the Opticor Vandal side? What do you rep? I love Blast. Blast is so good. I mean, it doesn't feel good when there's only one enemy. When there's only one enemy, you kind of feel bad. You're like, oh, I wish I had Viral Hunter munitions on. But as long as there's more than one enemy, Blast is so nice. All right, we have 5 minutes. We'll got another 5 more minutes left, and we'll see what this guy gets to. I'm going to hit this 1 life support, maybe 2. Maybe I'll have 2 life supports just to top off. I should recast my 3 for more status immunity too, so I don't get knocked all over the place. And you know, with the magnetic radial, you also kind of get electric with it. You get like a little neutered electric, you know, where you don't like always get electric. You just get it on killing the. I know they're all corrupted. They're not technically Corpus, but you get it on killing like the Corpus-like dudes. At least, like 1 proc here and there. Mania, I hate Mania. Mania ruins my friggin' testing I do all the time. Because he has Zephyr's shield, and he like puts it up, and then you can't even shoot past him. There we go. He doesn't have Zephyr's shield on him anymore. Oh, he's gonna beat me down though. Asshole! I hate Mania. He's not dangerous. He's just annoying as hell. He ruins my kill counts every time I try to do testing. If he comes out early, like if he comes out at the 3-minute mark, because I only do 5-minute runs for my testing, but they can come out early. They can come out 3 minutes and onward. So if he comes out early, I usually have to redo my friggin' testing because he'll run around with that Zephyr shield on for like 30 seconds, not letting me like get any kills. So friggin' annoying. I hate Mania. I know I could just melee him down, but I don't want to do that to ruin the testing either, in case I'm like whacking other dudes. All right, let's pull these guys back. Maybe we'll LOS them back here. These guys behind us. Let's get in the doorway and we'll LOS them in the room too. Two minutes left. We'll see what our kill count is at the end. I think it'll be decent. I don't think this is the highest kill per minute weapon, but I think it's decent. I think it's a decent weapon. It's a fun little guy. There's also, I think it's this one. I don't think it's the regular Opticor. I think this weapon you can get at like MR0. I think it says it has an MR requirement, but I think you can get it early if I remember. I was reading the wiki. I always go over the wiki just to make sure I don't miss any like weird interactions with weapons. And the wiki was saying something about like you can actually use this early as long as you're able to do the fissures like early. So as long as you're able to do that, you can actually get this like super friggin' early in the game. You might have to get like carried through the fissures though if you're that like early. I know, Lotus. We're not spending that much longer in here. We're only spending like another 50 seconds.
Tenno are lost, and they will resist. But I, Vor, will cleanse this place of their impurity.
Yeah, if you're willing to use externals, you could do all kinds of shenanigans. You can get Viral End Blast on this thing. If you're willing to use like Nourish as your subsume, or you can use Rhino's Roar as your subsume and get more like multiplicative damage. There's all kinds of crazy stuff you could do. So, all right, we're at 10 minutes here, 652 kills. It's pretty damn good. I don't know what we switched our format to doing MOT for our testing. So I don't know if the old quote-unquote average is still the average. Like, the old average for our Kuva survival runs was 350 to 450. So that would put this at 652, like way, way above average. Like really, really good. But I don't know what the average for MOT is going to be until we do like some more ranged weapons. So yeah, 652, 10 minutes. Pretty damn good. I like it. I like it. I wonder what the regular Opticor is going to get. I actually have to get another regular Opticor because I think I sold mine. I didn't realize at the time that it was a side grade, so I just was under the assumption, Vandal, better version. And I mean, it is better for everything except for its base damage. And it's not a small base damage decrease. It's a large one. So the Opticor is a lot higher in base damage. So yeah, that is the Opticor Vandal, guys. I hope you liked it. And thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, consider giving it a like. If you haven't subbed yet, consider subbing or tell me what I can do to earn your sub. And I hope you guys have a great day. All right, bye.